Hi everyone, welcome to CodeChef. In this video, we are going to learn about one of the most important concepts in C programming, variables and data types. Think of variables as containers that hold information that your program needs to work with. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to create variables, store different types of data in them, and display that data on the screen. You'll learn about integers, decimals, characters, and even Boolean values. These are the building blocks you'll use in every single program that you write. So follow along with me step by step and make sure you practice by typing the code yourself on CodeChef. The link is in the description below. First, I'll explain what variables are and how to declare them. Then, we'll explore different data types like int, short, long, float, double, char, and bool. For each type, we'll write actual code together and see the output. Finally, I'll break down some of each examples line by line so you can understand exactly what's happening.
Alright, so let's start with the basics. What exactly is a variable? Imagine you have a box where you can store something, maybe a number, a letter, or any piece of information. In programming, we call that box a variable. The value you store inside is your data. The name you give the box is called an identifier. Before you can use a variable in C, you need to declare it. Declaration means telling the computer what type of data will you store, a number or a letter, what name you're giving to this variable. Here's the basic syntax. Data underscore type, variable underscore name. For example, if you want to store a whole number, you can use the int data type. For example, here int age. This creates a variable called age that can hold an integer or a whole number. Now, once you've declared a variable, you can assign a value to it. For example, here we take int age is equal to 25, or you can directly declare and assign at the same time as int age 25. Simple, right? Now let's see this in action. Here's a program that stores a student's marks and displays them. Let me explain it line by line. Hash include stdio.h. This includes the standard input-output library, which gives us the printf function. Int main is where our program starts executing. This is a comment that is explaining what we're about to do, that is declaring the variable. Here, int marks, here we declare a variable called marks of type int. This creates a container that can hold a whole number. Right now it's empty, we haven't put any value in it. This is another comment that tells us that we assign the value 87 to the variable marks. Think of it like putting the number 87 inside our box. Next, we include the printf. This prints the value stored in marks. %d is a format specifier that tells printf to expect an integer. Marks is the variable whose value will replace %d, and \n moves to a new line after printing. So after the program runs, it will display student marks 87 as expected. The %d gets replaced with the actual value of marks, which is 87, and the return 0. This tells the computer the program finished successfully. And the curly braces closes the main function. So this is the complete output. This is how you declare, assign, and display a variable. Now let's talk about different types of integers. Not all numbers need the same amount of storage space, so C gives us different options. The two most common type of integers are short, stores small numbers, uses 2 bytes of memory. Int, stores large numbers, uses 4 bytes of memory. Now let's see them in action. Here's a quick example. Alright, so we start by including the standard library inclusion. Our program starts at int main. Here we describe what we are doing, that is declaring and initializing a short variable for year of birth. We declare the short variable called birth year and assign it to the value 2005. Since 2005 is well within the range of a short, this works perfectly. Now we explain the next variable. We declare an int variable called student ID and assign it to 102345. This number is too large for a short, but it fits easily in an int. We use the printf to display. This prints the birth year. %d is the format specifier for printing integers, which works both for short and int. And now we use printf again. This prints the student ID using %d and the return 0, where our program ends successfully. So the complete output shall be year of birth 2005 and student ID 102345. Now, use short for smaller numbers to save memory and int for larger numbers when you need more range. What if you need to store even larger numbers like populations, bank account numbers, or astronomical distances? That's where long comes in. A long can store much bigger values than an int. On 32-bit systems, 4 bytes, that is the same as int, and on 64-bit systems, 8 bytes, much larger range. To print a long, we use the format specifier %lt. Let's look at an example to understand better. Alright, so let's start with a simple program. Here we've included the standard library, the start of the program int main, and here we are explaining what we are going to do, that is declaring a long variable to store a large bank account number. Here we declare a long variable called account number and store a very large number in it, that is 9876543210. This number is too big for a regular int, but a long can handle it easily. Now we use printf. %ld is the format specifier. For long integers, account number is the variable we are printing. So we run this program and you can see bank account number and the said number is printed. Use long whenever you're working with really big whole numbers. So far, we have only worked with whole numbers. What if you need decimals like prices, measurements, or scientific calculations? C has 2 data types for decimal numbers: float, single precision 4 bytes accurate about 7 decimal places, and double precision 8 bytes accurate up to 15 decimal places. %f for float also works for double, and %lf for double, which is more explicit, is used for printing. Now let's see them in action. Here's a simple example. Here again we use the standard input-output library. Our int main is where our program starts, and we start by declaring a float variable. We declare a float variable called average altitude and assign it to 35,000.75. Notice the F at the end of the number. That tells C, treat this as a float, not a double. Without the F, C would treat it as a double by default. Now we declare a double variable. We declare a double variable called max altitude with a value that has many decimal places. A double can store it with higher precision than a float. Now we explain format specifiers. This prints the float value using %f. By default, printf shows only 6 decimal places, even though we might have more precision stored. So even though we store 35,000.75, it will display 35,000.750000, padding with zeros to make 6 decimal places. Now this prints the value, double value. Again, it shows only 6 decimal places by default, even though double can store more precision internally. So similarly to the float, it will also put the double value to the decimal places by default. So again, we've included our printf for maximum flight altitude, and our output should give average flight altitude, that is 35,000.750000. As I told you, there will be extra zeros padded to complete that decimal value, and maximum flight altitude, which is a double, which comes up to the value 45,367 the rest of the decimals. So our key takeaway here is use float for general decimal numbers and double when you need more precision, like a scientific calculator. Alright, so next up, if you want to store a single character, like a letter, a symbol, or even a digit, that's where char comes in. The char data type stores a single character and uses just 1 byte of memory. The important rules you must remember are characters must be enclosed in single quotes, and %C is used to print a character. Now let's see an example. We include the standard input-output library. We program starts with int main. We declare a char variable called gender and store character M in it. Notice the single quotes, that's how you write a character in C. Another char variable called grade, storing the letter B. This prints the gender using %C, the format specifier for characters, and this prints the grade B. Alright, so here we complete the program and let's see the output. Alright, so the complete output is gender M, grade B. Remember, char is for single characters only. If you need to store words or sentences, you will use something called as strings, which we'll learn about later. Finally, let's talk about Boolean values. In programming, we often need to represent something either true or false, like is a user logged in, yes or no, is a door open, true or false. C has data types called bool for this. 1 represents true, 0 represents false. We use %D to print Boolean values since they are stored as 0 or 1. Alright, so let's look at an example. Here again, we've included the standard input-output library. The int main is where the program starts. There's a comment explaining the next line, which is that we declare a Boolean variable for availability and set it to true. We declare a variable called isAvailable and set it to 1, which means true. We explain the next variable, which is a Boolean variable called isClosed and set it to 0, which means false. The print is the value of isAvailable using %D, which is in the integer format, and this prints the value isClosed of 0. Let's try submitting it, and here we get the value isAvailable is 1 and isClosed is 0 for true and false respectively. So whenever you see 1, think true, and whenever you see 0, think false. That's it. Alright, so let's quickly recap what we learned today. Variables are containers that store data. Int, short, long for whole numbers of different sizes. Float and double are for decimal numbers. Char is for single characters, and Boolean values for true, false values. Now each data type has a specific format specifier for printing, and %D is for int and short, %LD for long, %F for float and double, and %C for char, and %D for bool.
Now it's your turn. Head over to the CodeChef platform and practice declaring variables and different data types. Try modifying the values, printing them, and experimenting. The more you code, the more comfortable you will become. I'll see you in the next video. Happy coding!